Hello, everybody. My name is Randy Smith. I am a licensed realtor here in the great state of Tennessee with Keller Williams Smoky Mountains, which is located in Sevier County and the Great Smoky Mountains. And I'm one of those agents. I like to get out and drive and meet lots of people. So I really do cover a vast majority of East Tennessee. And we, over the past couple of years, have definitely seen an influx of folks moving into our area, taking advantage of all the wonderful benefits that come along with our region. And a part of those folks that we have started to see more and have had the privilege of working with are veterans and active duty military personnel. So what we don't see, unfortunately, is a lot of good information floating around for our veterans, for our active duty service members, and frankly, for other agents and title companies and so on and so forth. So I am thrilled to say that I have partnered up with Don Warren of Southwest Lending, and he is just an absolute wealth of information regarding VA loan benefits, how that product can be used, who's entitled to use those products, and all of that great information. So, Don, I think one of the topics that I would really like to cover today is National Guard and Army Reserve personnel. In our area here in Knoxville, we have more reserve units, guard units, that sort of thing. We don't have the Fort Jackson, the Fort Lees, we don't have that large primary presence military base, but do have several reserve and guard units. So how do they benefit?
Thank you, Randy, and I really appreciate that. The National Guard and Reserves, yes, there's Army, the Air National Guard, other components. And one thing that you had started doing yourself, and I did as well, is like, what guard bases are there in Tennessee? And the more I looked, it's like they are all over Tennessee, as well as a lot of other states. There's just in a lot of communities that people don't realize. Well, one of the nice things about the VA home loan benefit, it includes National Guard, it includes reserves. It's a great home loan benefit that covers a lot more people than what you would think might cover. So, National Guard and reserves, basically, there's a couple of different ways that they can earn their entitlement. One is with 6 years of creditable service. What does that mean on there? Basically, 6 years of the creditable service is what they consider points towards their retirement. Now, what they require on that is a minimum of 50 points per year. How do you accumulate 50 points per year? Well, as I was taking a look into this and digging into this, one site was telling me that at a minimum, a guard or reserve should be able to earn at least 78 points per year. So 50 points should be very easy to do. So having done 6 years of creditable service, hey, you could do 7 years, but if one of those years is 38 points, you still qualify if the others are 50 points or more. But if two of those 7 years are less than the 50 points, then you need to do another year of 50 points and to earn that home loan benefit. So that's an awesome thing. But also, those that are currently serving or those who have not completed the 6 years of creditable service, here's a couple other ways on there. National Guards and Reserves, they get active. They're prone to get activated under two different types of orders. Pretty much any type of activation to federal military service is Title 10 orders. So generally 90 days of that, not including the initial training, initial boot camp, will suffice instead of the 6 years of there. However, Title 10, that is need to have 90 days, and that is 30 of those days needs to be consecutive on there, but 90 days cumulative total.
Oh, okay,
So
that's a big
now,
point of difference.
yeah, now, what's Title 10? Title 10 is more of, it's being activated for federal active duty under ultimate authority of the president. Title 32 is more of like for, it's under the state governor's control, but with the president's authorization on there. And that can be things like, hey, we just had the tornadoes in Clarksville and Hendersonville. National Guard may end up being activated for that. That would be under Title 32. That's generally going to be a state type order. So that can apply, if they're activated under that, that can apply towards their 90 days. But somewhere in there, 30 days would have to be consecutive on there.
Can I ask a question on that, Don?
Sure.
So I am proud to say that at one point in my life, I was an Army reservist. And, at that point in time, which feels like a lifetime ago, the saying was 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. So do those days for the 2 week, the weekend and the 2 weeks, do those fall into that 90-day count?
No, they do not.
Okay.
On there, it's yeah, they don't on there, and I'm not sure exactly what the breakdown is on that, but those do count towards your adding up of your minimum of 50 points per year, and by doing those that weekend and then the 2 weeks plus all the other training opportunities that are throughout the year with different things, should be at least 78 points, if not more.
Okay. Perfect.
So, but yeah, that leads into you get your qualification that way, and you can be eligible for that VA home loan benefit with 0 down payment, 0 monthly mortgage insurance. Which is great. Hey, here's another thing as well. Sometimes people get injured.
Yes.
And they have to depart the service. Sometimes there may be something that's someone has to depart the service because of hardship and no one else to take care of the family. So that could be something. So even though there's the length of service in there, it becomes more about the character of service on there. And there are situations where the 6 years or the 90 days of active duty, called up under Title 10 or Title 32 orders may not apply. So it's a situation by situation on that. And a good lender is not going to make the decision for you on there or make the decision on behalf of the VA. Right. A good lender is going to dig into what is your story, and we're going to submit the right documents for the VA to make the decision.
And so some of those documents, there's something called a certificate of eligibility, which is, to me, that should be like the first step that any lender pulls to verify that the applicant does in fact qualify for those benefits. And then regarding the disability piece, as you said, if somebody was maybe medically discharged or just went through their natural life of service, but did have a service-related disability, there are some additional benefits connected to that, correct?
That's correct. And pointing first to the certificate of eligibility, that is the cornerstone of the VA loan. If a lender gives a pre-approval without the certificate of eligibility, that pre-approval is no good. It's absolutely no good, because while more than 80% of the time I can pull a certificate of eligibility with just a social security number and year of birth, there are times that we can't do it. Plus there's others issues that even if do pull it, there may be other issues if they're already under contract and how much home that they can buy with zero down payment if there's entitlement being used.
I
But
see.
just going back to, uh, just being able to pull it. Yeah, those times that we cannot pull it automatically, we submit the documents on there. In National Guard and Reserves, there's a couple of forms that we can do. Hey, if they serve active duty, then generally they'll have a DD 214
Mhm.
that we could submit to the VA. Most of the time, that's going to be issued in a day or two on there. But that sometimes there may be times where it's going to be even over a year for the VA to make a decision. So the earlier that somebody checks on this, and there's a couple places where you can check. One, a veteran, National Guard, Reserves, anybody who's military related could go to va.gov, see about pulling it themselves. Now, reach out to me to help you go over that certificate of eligibility so you can understand it on there, because
Perfect.
it can be confusing to look at. But also just reach out to me on there and I will be glad to pull it. I've pulled a number of certificate of eligibilities and I wasn't even the lender this year. And that's one of the things I love doing is let's make sure that you have that in order and that you have that and know one way or the other whether you are eligible or whether you are not eligible, so you know which way to plan your home purchase, whether it's a month down the road, whether it's a year or 2 years or more.
Oh,
So
wow.
there's absolutely benefits to that. You were mentioning something else, and I got a certificate of eligibility. What was that? Do you remember?
Oh, if there was a service-connected disability, there can sometimes be additional benefits to that.
Absolutely. If they are already receiving that, then on the certificate of eligibility, it will show that they are exempt from the funding fee. That's huge
Okay,
because with the first time home buyer, that's 2.15%. With subsequent home buyers, that's 3.3% on there. So that can save thousands
big
of
number.
dollars.
Yeah.
However, here's something as well. There's a lot of National Guard, Reserves, active duty. Those who have served in any of those who are entitled, who have to a service-connected disability, but have never applied, or they may have applied and were denied 30 years ago, whatever it is. But we want to make sure that they go ahead and do their intent to file. There's easy ways to do that.
Mhm.
And just as long as they do that before the home loan closes, then when the VA approves it, and we're going to assume the best here that they're going to approve it,
Always.
then after closing, after it's approved, and at that time it should show that their effective date, it was say that you close on December 25th. You're approved sometime in January, but you had applied back on December 24th or earlier on there. Well, when you're approved, the VA will send you a check for that for the amount of what the funding fee was that was either rolled into the loan or prepaid on the loan.
Oh, outstanding. Okay. Very good. Very good. So what do you find, and again, specifically thinking about our National Guard and Reserve personnel, do you find that a lot of those folks believe that they are not entitled to VA benefits, or what are some common misconceptions there that we can help clear up?
The main thing is we just need to get the word out. The more that we get the word
Yeah.
out, the better. Here's something as well. Back in, I believe it was 2020, Title 32 used not to be covered for those who had served on there. So those who had previously served prior to 2020, if they were activated under Title 32 orders, they are now eligible, whereas they weren't before. Say they served in the year they got out in the year 2000 or 2010 or
Right.
earlier or whatever. They are now eligible because Title 32 orders have I'm saying always been there, but it has been there for a long time. I don't know when what years these orders officially started.
It came into effect.
But back in the Stone Ages. So it's they have been there. So basically, we just need to get the word out. Also, one of the big misconceptions on there is that it's a one and done loan. It's not.
Yes.
It's a lifetime benefit.
Yes.
You can use it multiple times, and you can even use it simultaneously.
Yes.
You currently living in a home that's backed by the VA loan. Hey, you need to move. You want to turn that first home into a rental property? Great. Keep that VA loan on it. Go to the next home, and there's awesome ways to get that done for you.
I love that. And that'll be a whole video in and of itself when we start talking about different misconceptions and myths and misinformation. Oh my heavens, we could go for hours on that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I see in one veterans group I'm in, just the different people chiming in on when someone does bring up something about the home loan benefit, and it's like, okay, I have to go in here, lender here, and I always started with that just so that they know. And there's some other good lenders in there as well. People I know that's in that group as well. So it's like there's several. The good information is coming from several sources, but then we also see where there's most lenders may only do one or two VA loans a year on there. They're just not familiar with it. So that's something too that we have to guard against, is that lenders try to steer veterans, National Guard, anybody who's entitled to that certificate of eligibility, entitled to the VA home loan benefit, where we let them know about that, because there are lenders out there who, since they're not familiar with it, will try to get them into another loan product. And a lot of times those aren't the best.
And you just you made me think of something else. And speaking about that, again, obviously, as I mentioned, I'm a realtor. I'm licensed in real estate transactions. So as much as I'm educating myself and doing everything I can to stay on top of those VA loan guidelines, I can't express enough to any military personnel who are considering using this benefit. Yes, feel free to ask your realtor, your real estate agent, some of these questions, but know that truly we aren't licensed and aren't the correct individual to give you all of those answers. But we're always working with great lending partners such as yourself, and can get that individual connected with the person who does have the correct answers.
Absolutely. And Randy, this, and I see just from teaching some classes, y'all as realtors go through a lot of different information. There are a lot of things that y'all have to keep up with, and that is why I saw someone post a question the other day, says, what is the benefit of a buyer, having a buyer's agent representative? And my thought on that was, think of everything that can go wrong with the transaction during the process.
Yeah.
And that's really whether it's buyer side or seller side. And I see that as a lender, something and where a for sale by owner and someone buying without representation on there, where an inspection may come up. Well, that's not my avenue as to know who the inspectors are or who can go out and resolve something, like mold, hey, we need, mold inspection on there. There's things like that. This is where realtors can really become involved. People do, you should not, and you hear the expression, that you should not represent yourself in court. You should not have yourself as a lawyer. That's the same thing with going for buying or selling a home. You need an experienced realtor, and realtor is trademark. It's a special designation. on there. And there's a lot of things that
We go through
have to
additional
be
training.
known and
Yep.
adhered to. And it's like, yes, it's not going through, I guess, so some of y'all would disagree on there, but it's not like, you're taking all the hours like, just to get licensed like a doctor or a lawyer or anything. But there's a lot of things that go in that
Yeah.
where y'all are representing the best interest. And yes, hoping that everything goes smoothly. And a good realtor is going to also minimize those, especially behind the scene where buyers and sellers don't realize what's going on.
Yeah.
But when something does come up and is visible, y'all know how to take care of it. So that is a benefit of having someone such as yourself be able to represent the buyer, be able to represent the seller.
Yeah. Who you work with absolutely matters. And one of the things that I like to say in conjunction with that is, there's strength in partnership. So when you align yourself with good, knowledgeable, educated, ethical folks, that makes a big difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing is who has your best interest at heart, making sure that it's that it gets done, and who is not blowing smoke on there because
Yes.
and who's not going to be doing the bait and switch on there because we all see that. So because of that, and I see your passion with being able to help veterans wherever you can, and we're including veterans as a broad term here, just
Yes.
anybody who's eligible, because you got the active duty, you have the National Guard, you have the reserves, you have surviving spouses.
Yes.
As,
Thank you.
as well on there, and I always enjoy surviving spouses. I always enjoy helping veterans and their fiancés get married. So those that have been together for 10 or 15 years but need to use both incomes, we enjoy okay, it's time to get married. So, and no, I'm not going to get licensed to give marriage vows to anybody.
Right.
I've been asked to do that. It's not going to happen. So.
That's great. Well, I think we've covered a lot of great information for this video. Is there anything else you can think of regarding, specifically our National Guard and Reserve personnel?
The main thing is we just need to get the word out there.
Help us. Yeah.
Like and subscribe to this video, share this video, get the word out. Don't trust. There are a few veterans who know. There are a few others that know and might be able to hit up on the right answer. But especially with this, trust a lender such as myself, because even if I don't know the right answer, I'm going to be able to find it for you because of my network of people. And that's the same thing as yourself, Randy. Is people can start off by asking you, and you have your network of people. So it's all about, we are all a team. We're absolutely just all a team. And the thing that we enjoy doing most is helping not just veterans in general, but everybody be able to get into a home, because that is a life-changing, very life-changing event.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, just to reiterate what Don said, like and subscribe to follow for more videos as we go down the road. We'll definitely continue to tackle more topics and address more questions and concerns. And in fact, I invite you to please click on the button at the end of the video to reach out for a quick 15-minute conversation to see if you, in fact, may qualify to use a VA loan benefit and the best route for you to proceed in regards to buying or selling your next property. So Don, thank you so very much.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome. Always enjoy doing these.
Absolutely. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.